Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. First thing on the agenda is the roll call. Mercedes, would you please call the roll?
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Beaver.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson. Trustee McMahon.
Here.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Here.
Student Liaison Anthony Higgins. Here. Trustee Richard Togler.
Here.
Trustee Brett McWhorter.
Here.
Trustee Ed Howe.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will continue on. Next is the approval of the agenda, and I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented by staff.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Richard Toker and a second by Trustee Nick Manning to approve the agenda as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say sound. Motion carries. Next is the approval of the minutes of January 24th, 2022, and I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of January 24th, 2024, as presented by staff.
A second.
We have a motion by Trustee Denise Bryant and a second by Trustee Brett McWhorter to accept the minutes of January 24th, 2024, as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next is the Treasurer's Report, January bills and claims. Do you have any questions?
I do.
Okay, Grant?
Under, I guess, page 1 of it, Sursa, is it supposed to be there twice?
Yes,
Okay.
it was divided between water, sewer, and
Oh, okay. Just making sure. I was like, what? Okay.
And Jamie, I have one. The Cancer Resource Alliance of Montezuma, that was one of our agency contributions.
Yes.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Can somebody help my
Is
mind?
that the Montezuma Hospice?
No?
No?
No. Do you guys remember?
Cancer Resource Alliance.
I do remember it, but can't tell you.
I don't remember them presenting to us.
She did.
They did.
They did.
Okay, that's okay. As long as everybody else remembers. I just don't remember them. And it looks like they're the only ones, well, then they got like $1,500. I thought
We gave $1,500 to everybody.
to everybody, okay.
If you look
Is there
down,
anybody else?
There's the Community Connections down there.
Okay.
And then there's
Yeah,
the Four Corners Recycling. We gave $1,500 to. And we gave $1,500 to the Mancos Valley Resources.
so this is that first round that
Uh-huh.
we gave to everybody.
Yeah.
I saw
Oh, I remember
those.
now. Yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks for somebody else remembering.
Right.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
The contractor on call, 35,000. What was that for? What work?
That's so that we don't have to do an RFP. Sometimes we need a contractor immediately. And so
Right.
and that's the $35,000 for the yearly.
That's the yearly
The year-
contribution. Okay.
Yes.
The
Okay.
No.
You guys had discussed it.
No, I remember talking about it. I just wasn't sure how the 35K came into play.
That's the year.
So that isn't for something specific. That
It's
was
just
for their
retainer.
money that
They
we are
retain it.
paying them to be on call.
Just-
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
I do not.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve the bills and claims as presented by staff.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Trustee Richard Toker and a second by Trustee Denise Bryant to accept the January bills and claims as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Okay, motion carries. Next is audience business, and I don't have anybody signed up to speak. Are you guys here to speak? That's something that's not on the agenda? Okay. All right, we'll move right along then to announcements.
So I only have two more Blue Jays and Terry also have an announcement. Heather is the new chair for TPR.
Way to take away my thunder.
And then I wanted to update you guys on the election. So we are going to have an election. And it's made, we actually have enough candidates to fill all of the seats, but one of the spots will only be a 2-year, and so the voters will vote on who gets that 2-year. Pretty much the person with the least amount of votes will get the 2-year spot.
Interesting.
So we will be having an election. Unless if you guys have any questions.
Yeah, so Monday we released the 2024 version of our Makes Vision survey. So I kept all the questions the same from the previous 2 releases of the survey, just so we have it there over time. But this year I also added 5 extra questions that are optional, and they are around business development. I pushed that out to some partners, and they put it out on social media. We already have 50 responses to it in a couple of days. And I'm going to be walking around to the local businesses and seeing if I can get them to hang up a flyer with a QR code. But Mercedes made these table tents. So hopefully we can get some of this where people are sitting. Scan
Like a restaurant.
as many responses as we can.
I already said yes.
So,
Good
take a
job.
survey.
Yeah, good job.
Okay.
Just an
Terry.
update on the new water tank project, Great Plains Structures got here Monday afternoon, and they've already got the floor completed on the new water tank. And later this week, you should see a new water tank getting higher and higher every day. And they should probably be close to being done. Well, they're working all the way through to the 22nd. So it should be pretty close to being done by the 22nd.
Cool.
Okay, moving right along to the committee reports. Montezuma County Commissioner update. Gerald, you're up.
Good evening. We didn't have a commissioners meeting this week. A couple of our constituents are back in Washington DC for the National Association of Counties meeting back there. They're just getting back today. This past week, I don't know how many of you have heard about it, but last Friday we went to a meeting down Toyota. It's going to be a big solar project going in down south of Toyota, mainly on 160 where it cuts across and goes over to the Four Corners. That's the first part they're going to put in. It's going to cover 5,500 acres. It's over 1 million panels. They're actually going to build a construction building to build the panels down there. It's going to be a big impact to the county because it's basically going to take somewhere between 400 and 600 employees. Not sure where we're going to house them. I'm sure they won't all be here at one time, but it's going to be an impact to us. But that's just one part of what they're planning. There's actually 3 more parts to it. Basically, big solar fields the same way. One of them is actually down in what they call the Decker pasture, which is actually down in New Mexico, across the line, right straight south of Mesa Verde. They own some property that's actually south of the line between Colorado and New Mexico. One of them's down there. The other one's on the highway that cuts it back across toward Anna off of 160 down there. And I'm not sure how to describe where the other one actually is, but there's actually 4 different parts to it that they're planning over the lifespan of putting these all in there. Some of the concerns are, basically the lifespan of those things is 30, 35 years. what do you do with all of them when they're done? What's gonna happen with them? Because it's a problem. It's a problem in places where they're already going out of service. It's what to do with all those used panels like that. So it's gonna be a problem. Other than that, Saturday, I attended the livestock meeting there in Cortez. They had a good turnout. Lots of discussion, especially about the wolves and how things are going with that. Because that's going to affect all these livestock owners eventually. It's just like myself. Some of the guys went up on the mountain the other day because some snowmobilers had saw one of my calves up there that he got left up there this winter. If there was wolves up there, we wouldn't have that calf back today. I can guarantee you that. Because he couldn't get out of there and he would have just been prey. So it's going to definitely take an impact on all the livestock growers in Colorado if this, as they continue to multiply. Today I've been over at Southwest Water Conservation Board meeting since noon. I just came right straight to here from there, and we're meeting there again tomorrow. Mainly on Colorado River issues and different transbasin diversions. Lots of discussion about the transbasin diversions going out of the upper end of the Winnemanooch over into the Rio Grande Basin. I had 2 or 3 of those that are going on right now that are we're in court cases about trying to make sure they're not taking any more than they're supposed to across there. People don't realize how much water goes back out of the Colorado River side back to the other basins. There's one diversion that takes 400,000 acre feet. And when you count them up from all the way from northern Colorado up there, transferring over into the Poudre, all the way down the deal, there's, I'd have to look on that deal, but there's
38
there's
diversions.
yeah, it's a
38
bunch.
diversions from the west slope to the east slope.
One of them takes up to 600,000. So it's a real issue to keep that water on this side of the mountain, but it's even a harder issue to what's going to happen downstream in the future on this Colorado River, because it's going to be a real serious problem, more than it is right now in the future. As long as all those cities keep growing down there and there's 40-some million people down the river, they're going to be looking for water. And it's going to be our duty to make sure we keep some of it here. But it's going to be hard. So I've been working on a lot of that stuff right now. We're in negotiations right now for the next guidelines as far as guiding Lake Powell and Lake Mead, how the elevations in those. Right now, the 2007 guidelines make us balance those reservoirs. Before that, we didn't do that. After we went through that drought in 2004, they put those guidelines in there. And when they did that, Lake Powell was our reserve of all the extra water we were producing to meet our 7.5 million acre feet going down that river every year. And when they put those guidelines in there, they started balancing those reservoirs. And the compact actually says if there's extra water down there, they have a right to divide it up and take it. So every time we put extra water down there, they've divided it up and taken it. So it has done absolutely no good. So we got to get all that stuff changed, and we're in those negotiations right now. So it's going to happen. 2006, they'll change to whatever we come up with this next time. But we better do a better job than Colorado's done in the past, because it's critical. So, but that's basically where we're at here right now. County has not been very busy as far as land use stuff. It's been kind of slow, so it may change every week. This guy can probably tell you a heck of a lot more about what's coming. Then they won't let us see it until the day we get it.
Keep you in the dark.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cheryl.
Thanks, Darren.
Okay, next is the student liaison update.
Alright, So today obviously was Valentine's Day, so the student council passed out flowers to mainly the elementary school, but sometimes the students too. And Monday, February 26th, all the student liaisons are meeting with the school board just about like stuff going on in the town. The wrestling team has gone postseason. They're at state right now, which I'm sure most of you probably already know that, but the whole team went to state.
How many do we have go?
What?
How many? Was it 7?
And both basketball teams are going to regionals, and the boys and girls both have a high chance of hosting here. Obviously, like after basketball, track will be here. And the junior class is getting ready for prom. It'll be hosted April 22nd in the Opera House. That's all I got.
Cool, thank you.
Good report, thank you. Okay, Montezuma County Planning Commission was held last week. They had 3 items on the agenda. One was related to the Mancos area. It's out on 160, out by the, actually Road H, south of 160, and just dividing, doing a two lot subdivision out there right now. And that was passed on by the Planning Commission to the Board of County Commissioners, so they'll be seeing that soon. Region 9.
Well, I didn't go to the meeting, I wasn't here, but one update is this broadband. I think you guys talked a little bit about broadband at the last meeting. I hope I'm not. What happened was I talked to you about that NTIA. They didn't get the big loan for that. So, but now they got another. They got some awards and up to $35.6 million for their projects, and 2 of them are going to come to Montezuma County. So this money is this. So we got an IPS server. They're called Clear Network, and they're going to put. It's going to help. Well, altogether, it looks like there'll be over like 1,000 homes will get internet. They're going to go from Highway 60 from Cortez to Mancos, and then Highway 184 from Mancos to Dolores. So this is good because it's really been really rough to get this broadband to rural areas such as us with mountains and everything else that, that has been in the way. So moving forward with some new internet broadband. The next meeting for the Region 9 will be April 25th. So at that time, somebody new will have to be assigned to Region 9. Just throwing that out there.
Okay, CDOT, CPR.
Well, Heather was on video with it, but she gave me an update. There's some bills being passed. SB 24-091 is opposed by CDOT, but the CDI supports the bill because it helps with the broadband. That's something that Gene was talking about. And, let's see, we talked about some projects, election of officers, which we all know Heather's chair, been elected as chair, and Sarah Hill is vice chair. Construction update, Elmore's Corner and Highway 160 signals in Cortez. Wolf Creek Fiber is shut down for the year. Chip Seal, Mancos Hill to Durango, and Yellow Jacket will be next month. Mancos Grand Avenue, ADA ramps and sidewalks will go to add in October 2024 tentatively. And then maintenance crews plan on doing a chip seal on 184 in April. And that's a tentative date. And that's all I have.
Okay, and the Town of Mancos Planning Commission, and they meet next week. Okay. All right, we'll move on to our discussion and action items, and we're gonna have Jamie and David running that part of the meeting. First is the Mancos United Feasibility Study Collaboration. Jamie, you want to introduce that, and then you have somebody here to speak on that, is that right?
Yes, we do have Lisa and Joey. Okay, yes, you can come in. We'll make it quick. Last meeting, we spoke in regards to the a feasibility study for their community hub. And you guys, towards the end of the meeting, said you would like to see it on the agenda. So this is it, and they are here. I do want to point out that on Parks and Trails Master Plan, a recreational center is number 4 on our list, and a feasible study could help us with grants in the future, possible grants, things like that. We would have access to this study thanks to Campus United. I'll let them, they can probably answer any of your questions with our
And one of you guys want to come up and speak?
Yeah. Pitch it.
Please state your name and address for the,
Hi, Katie McClure with Mancos United. I live at 6554 Road 41. I don't have a formal presentation, just ready to answer any questions you might have.
anybody have any questions for Katie?
Triangle 2, tell me more about that organization.
That might be Lisa's, but while she's coming up, I can tell you, they do all the feasibility studies and planning for the YMCA's across the country, so she's working with them.
I'm Lisa Stone. I live at 10890 Road 42. Serve on the Mancos United Board. So Triangle 2, they've been around for about 25 years, and they started with building YMCA's across the country. And what's really unique about them, one, is they understand the importance of listening to the community. So they don't come in with preconceived ideas. And they will basically, the feasibility study will tell us, can we raise the money to build something or enhance what we have, in the community, and can we sustain it? So those are the 2 questions that they'll help us with. And it's quite a process that we go through, and if we get to our goal, we hope to start this year from that. So.
Great, thank you.
Oh, and they have a 97% success rate.
Perfect.
Yeah, on their results.
Even better.
Any other questions?
We'll bring it back to the board for discussion. Denise, you guys can go ahead and sit down.
So I do have a 1-pager. Do you want that now?
Okay, yeah.
How about the precedents? I think this was in the packet.
This is an updated one.
Oh, updated on what you sent us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I think this triangle, this was a really, I don't know how to say it. I think it was really easy to read. I think they really laid out what they do and who they are, and I think they, I think the whole idea is a really good idea. I like how they even talked about the cost, like, the initial session and so on. And we just heard again, and they mentioned it a few times in this, that they really listen to what the community is needs and wants, like, what we can do. So I think our part in it is I think it's worth the money that we would put towards this feasibility study. Let's just see what's out there. What kind of grants can we get? I think it's worth. I think it's worth us getting involved in just the feasibility study at this point.
For sure.
Ed,
I guess there was one question here. It says that our contribution of $4,700 actually equates to 9,400. Is that a match of some sort?
yes.
50%.
I wasn't the last meegue, so that's,
Oh,
yeah, I wasn't here for that. And then did we discuss, the 4,700, or are we just gonna take that out of our,
General
reserve?
fund, from the general
Yeah,
fund.
general fund, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's gonna come out of reserves.
Mhm.
We're not taking it out of any of our other projects that we've already slated.
Nope.
Those are the only two questions I had.
Your comments, what have you, about, for it, against it?
Oh, no, I love what they've been doing and what their intent is, so, yeah, I've got no issues.
Okay, Nick?
No, it seems like money well spent. It's not cheap, but I think it's money well spent for the community, for Makes United, the youth, but also for the town to use for grants. I think it's a good collaborative. It's a great show of support for this community. So I like it.
Right.
No, I think this is, I was one of the ones that asked to put this on the agenda because I think this is worthwhile. And I also think that, to get the best bang for our buck right now with this 50% match, it's rare when we can put money forth that doubles when we do that. And, I've done many a feasibility study on this board so far, and none of them have ever come less than $5,000 for us. Everything's usually $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to do a feasibility study, and we always get heartburn at those. So to collaborate with Make Us United on this, I think this is a great thing.
Richard?
No, I think it's needed to be done to get someplace to.
I'm all for the feasibility study. I just think we do need to just keep in mind that, once, it's not just doing the feasibility study, but we do have to purchase the land, you got to build the building, and then there's the maintenance. Cortez right now just had to replace their water tank, and it was thousands and thousands of dollars, and they were down, they were closed, and, we all, you buy a new house and you're all excited, and then, 2 years down the road, you've got the washing machine goes out or the refrigerator goes out. It's the maintenance that goes on and on and on and on. And another thing I think we really need to be aware of is, the town, it's not the town's responsibility to provide recreation for our people. The town's responsibility is, safety, roads and parks, water and sewer, those things. That's the town's responsibility. So if Make Us United could do this, that's great, but they need to be aware that it's not going to be a one-time thing. And you guys, 15, 20 years from now, there's going to be somebody that's coming up behind you that's going to be willing to take on that task. That's what is scary, It's just like with the board here. We can make decisions, but we have to make decisions for 10, 15 years down the road and hope that somebody is going to be here to take on those things. So we have to think about that too. I'm not against it. And I think the feasibility study is great because then that gives us an idea of where we're going to go. But we need to keep in mind the maintenance. Boyle Park was given to the town of Mancos. But it's the town of Mancos because it is a park and it is in the city limits, and that is part of our responsibility. We have to water it. We have to mow it, we have to seed it, and there's staff that's involved in that, and it's expensive. It doesn't come cheap. And so I just, we have a community center that was given to us. We can barely make ends meet with our community center right now, and there's a lot of maintenance with that. The refrigerator, the stove, the drain, we have to have staff, there's the lights and the gas that goes on. Just, again, keep in mind all those expenses that go along with it. It's great. And the swimming pool, we'd all love to have a swimming pool, but, I have a pool in my backyard, and just having that pool in my backyard has cost me about $500 to $1,000 every summer just to keep the chemicals and things in that. And it's a small pool, so, I'm not against it. But in the back of my mind is all this maintenance going on, and I don't want people to forget about that, and I don't want people we're all gung-ho right now, and all the kids right now, all the high school kids are really gung-ho on it. But where are they gonna be 5 years from now? Are they still gonna be here in Mancus? They're gonna be away at college? And they're gonna have jobs. Are they gonna come back to raise their kids in Mancus? Who's gonna be utilizing this rec center? And I know there's other kids coming up. You know, we've got kindergarten now, they'll be, in 5 years, they'll be in grade school, they'll be using it. And hopefully their parents will be involved in Mancus United and keep this ball rolling. But those are things to think about too, because we can't just build a building and then have it sit in decay. So,
The nice part is they do a financial,
right,
you know,
right.
there's a 3-year outlook, cash flow outlook.
Right, and I think the survey will be good, and it'll help us with grants for other things that the town is working on. And so, any other comments or anything? All right, I would entertain a motion.
I move we allocate $4,700 from the general fund towards the Mancus United Community Hub feasibility study.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Brent McWhorter and a second by trustee Nick Manning to allocate $4,700 from the general fund towards the Mancus United Community Hub feasibility study. Mercedes, would you please call the roll?
Trustee McLean.
Yes, aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Topa.
Aye.
Trustee Darren Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Ed.
Okay, motion carries. Moving right along to the mutual aid omnibus agreement.
The town is asking for you to authorize the mayor to sign a mutual aid agreement. It's between us, Montezuma County, Cortez, and Dolores. And pretty much, this agreement is, there's a local disaster, it's just jurisdictions kind of cross over and things like that.
Mhm.
The marshal's office and our attorney have reviewed it and has no objections. Any questions?
Is this a continuation of an old agreement, or is there new parts to this agreement, or just the background would be nice?
It's just a renewal, isn't it?
Okay, so it's just a renewal, the same thing.
Any comments?
I just, a question about, is this like if a fire,
Right.
like when we had a fire here or something, the other jurisdictions come and help us? Is that what this is about, or?
Request usually.
Right, it's like when Western Excelsior started over.
Right, that's what I was
Several years ago.
thinking, yeah.
Mhm.
And then, so you guys, so,
And it works both ways.
so it's like reciprocity, you can cross county lines, like our city lines, but you can't do that without an agreement.
Right,
Yeah, you need an agreement for, it's a liability for.
right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically what this is
Yeah,
liability.
this is different though than just law enforcement. This is
It's like
All emergency
All
aid.
emergency.
the underwriter's office.
Is it technically law enforcement from the state of Colorado can act as law enforcement anywhere within the four corners of the state of Colorado by statute? We have a duty to stop felonious assaults, certain misdemeanors, things like that. This is more, it outlines if a water emergency or for whatever reason, just the town lost power. It's a mutual aid between governments and not just specific law enforcement.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, okay. Thanks.
Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the mayor to execute the omnibus mutual aid agreement between the town of Mancus, Montezuma County, the town of Dolores, and the city of Cortez.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Ed Hallam and a second by trustee Brent McWhorter to authorize the mayor to execute the omnibus mutual aid agreement between the town of Mancus, Montezuma County, town of Dolores, and the city of Cortez. Mercedes, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee McMahon.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Topa.
Aye.
Trustee Darren Carter.
Aye.
Trustee Ed.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, moving right along. Justin, you want to discuss the marshal's office vehicle purchase?
Yeah. Alright, so I'm asking for the board to approve, for me to get another vehicle. The reason for that is I'm consolidating our fleet that we have currently. I got the 2016 F-150, the 2016 Ford Explorer, and one 2018 Silverado are now gone, bringing total fund balance for those three vehicles up to $45,500. But we're short a vehicle because Costilla County, they just rolled another one last week. So hopefully the Interceptor they just didn't buy stays on the road. But they also need the other 2018 Silverado, and are going to pay $25,000 for that vehicle, fully outfitted. So at the end of that asset disposal for just those four vehicles, we brought in $70,500 is what the total is going to be disposing of those four assets. Two of them were sitting there. We were paying insurance maintenance on them to sit for no reason. I do want to, this is for an unfilled position. But if I get an applicant that comes in and is a good applicant for that unfilled position, I do not have a vehicle for them, so we're going to be in a rideshare status at that point. And going a little bit off the staff report, the issue is we have call time with the town, and so if staff isn't available for call, it falls on me. I would have to absorb the rest of that on-call time that I'm already doing now, because we can't have a staff member drive here to get in a vehicle to respond to a call for an emergency. It's just not going to work. So does the board have any questions based on that?
So if you sell, though, the other 218, the 2018 Silverado, you wouldn't have a vehicle for him to drive if you had to come here to drive.
Well,
you would have to get one of the other guys' vehicle.
So we have one that's waiting to be upfitted, should be upfitted by the end of the month. As soon as that's done, we'll have four matching vehicles, except for mine. Mine's just not decaled. We wouldn't have a fifth vehicle at that point. The issue on the Silverados is they have nickel and dimed our budget in maintenance. I've replaced radiators, water pumps, fuel pumps, wiring harnesses in those, transmission cooler. So they're, for as new as they are, we've had a lot of maintenance problems with those. Every time I turn around, I'm spending anywhere between $2,000 to $5,000 on those two trucks. And so it's better stewardship to get rid of those high cost vehicles for vehicles that we haven't had issues with. And we already got the vehicle that was budgeted for this year. I understand that, and I understand that we have a vehicle, but we also have another local government that can't have police on the road because they can't keep vehicles. They've had one burn down. They had one blow an engine. Pueblo donated them vehicles, but they're no better than our Crown Vics. So that's why they are so interested in our assets that we have.
Well, I commend you for all your hard work in selling those vehicles and getting out and pursuing that. Thank you.
Well, yeah, it's my job. So
thanks for doing that.
So the problem I have is, so we're gonna buy a vehicle, let it sit?
I won't buy the vehicle until after the Silverado's gone.
Right,
Isn't my
but
plan.
if we still don't hire the fifth officer, it's gonna sit out
It's gonna be in the lean-to at the town shop. That's where the other vehicle waiting to be upfitted is at.
The other issue I have is we have like a purchasing agreement with law enforcement vehicles, how we do this every 2 years, or how's that gonna affect?
So with we replace a vehicle every 5 years. So if you look at the 2018s, we're over.
Right.
So the problem,
But what I'm saying is about the current fleet.
the current fleet, there's one that would be due to be replaced in 2025. Obviously, that's gonna have to stay, at least for another year. This will get us the 5 vehicles. But it shouldn't put us behind on that, or it's not gonna put us ahead. The only thing that, we'll have to do is we'll have to do a budget amendment for the upfit. The best I've been able to do on upfits is 16,000. That's with the cage, the radios, a radar, and everything in them.
Well, wait a minute. It says you made $70,000 off the sales of these vehicles, and you can buy one for 45 and update it for 16.
That's 60,000.
That's 60,000. So you got $10,000 extra.
And I understand that, but Heather feels that we're gonna have to do something on the upfits. So, because if we're buying 2 vehicles at 45.5, that's gonna put us over
We've
our
already
budget.
authorized it.
Yeah,
The new vehicle.
the new one, yes.
With the outfit, correct?
With the outfit.
Right.
And those are, so I'm keeping our vehicles under 65, is what I'm trying to do. So
we'll still have to do a budget amendment, possibly.
possibly.
Yes, because we did only budget for it.
Oh, I gotcha.
And so
Okay.
this will, even though Justin's bringing in the money, it's not like we can just put that money right.
Yeah. it's
I
gotta go
gotcha.
through the-
We still have to do an amendment. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But Heather said that we were okay financially to,
Well, yeah, you're bringing in 70,000.
right, to do the upfit. If we have to
Yeah.
go over the amendment, then we would still be
Mhm.
be
We
okay.
just have to amend the budget.
Yes.
Yeah,
I don't see any other issues.
it's a new vehicle, I assume, right?
Yes.
That's probably Dodge.
Well, as long as Dodge keeps coming in with cheaper than everything else, I'm gonna keep getting them.
I think it's important that law enforcement has decent vehicles that work, that start, that, public safety is really important, and to have, it just looks good in the town to have some nice vehicles. I think that, I like this idea.
Thank you, Janice, and I agree with you. I mean, well, I can get us all schwins.
I say you may have a future in used car sale.
Well, I don't know about that.
You're making money, I like it.
Or an electric.
Well, they're fast,
I think your point about not putting this burden on you, that's really important too. Like, if you get burnt out, then the whole thing crumbles, so
Yeah.
let's keep you going.
keep him going, and, good point.
Ed, do you have any comments?
No, I think that we should do it. And I understand why we're amending the budget, because it was an unallocated expense. As much as we have the revenue to offset it, but it wasn't in our budget for an expense, and that's why he's asking for that.
And we may have to do it. It's not necessarily, Heather said that, the
We'll see.
budget amendment is a possibility. So,
Once the bill comes.
right, when the bill comes through, but just be aware, it's just that transparency.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, I would entertain a motion.
I authorize the town Mancus Marshal's Office to purchase a new patrol vehicle for the unfilled position.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Richard Toker and a second by trustee Denise Bryant to authorize the Mancus Marshal's Office to purchase a new patrol vehicle for the unfilled position. Mercedes, would you call the roll?
Aye.
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 Okay, motion carries.
Get her ordered. They take a long time.
Yeah.
I have a different
I found the nickel control on that.
And if you need a place to park it, you park it at my house, just leave the keys.
That's right. Woo, sure.
Yeah, they let me borrow one of the cars for they couldn't come to the, trunk or treat one year, so let me borrow one of the cars, and, I remember battery down with the sirens and the lights, so the kids all wanted to see the sirens and the lights, so, yeah. All right, next on the agenda is the hazardous tree sidewalk matching program.
Last workshop, you guys discussed our hazardous trees and sidewalk matching program. Heather took all of the discussion, the notes and everything, and updated the application and then a little flyer. And so, if you guys review it, with your approval.
Good.
No,
Any
everything
comments?
that we talked about in that workshop is pretty much there, so.
Yeah, and it's been an ongoing program. It's just, I like the flyer factor because I don't remember if we've ever had a flyer.
It wasn't great.
Yeah.
And it was in green, so you couldn't fully read it, so. I like the fact that this is a true matching program too.
Right.
Yeah.
By doing it that way, because we weren't getting a lot of buy-in from citizens about this, because it was a drop in the bucket compared to what the true costs right now of any of these.
Yeah.
Sidewalk or tree removal. As somebody who's done tree removal at my property, it's definitely, it'll be nice to actually have an increase in that too. We have a lot of old trees in this town, and we're gonna need to do a lot of work in the next few years on this, so.
Well, I think you guys did a nice job, and the application is readable, understandable, easy. It's not rocket science, you just, you do it, so. Any other comments?
It says licensed contractor multiple times in there. There's no such thing. You don't need a license in Colorado to be a contractor. And there's actually not one that you can get unless you're a commercial contractor, bonded, insured. Yeah.
Trees, there is a license.
But this says contractor in the sense of like doing the concrete work is what I'm reading.
Yeah, the concrete one, yeah.
And so I think that shouldn't be in there. That license, I think qualified is important. I agree. There's certifications for arborists, but that's different. So
We've been in with the trees, but not.
yeah, I think qualified. There has to be some other language other than license because that's nobody in Montgomery County is licensed.
Insured.
Insured? Would that be the word?
Well, everybody should be insured. Yeah, insured, qualified, like some sort of
And sidewalks should be
other
put in at a standard.
Yeah, exactly. They can read a set of plans.
They need to put in at a standard.
What kinds of tricks that would be?
I know. Engineered. I don't know. There's got to be some way to do it properly, but license isn't going to be the term.
Denise, do you have any comments?
No, I remember this discussion, and I think the flyer looks really nice. I hope this gets out and citizens actually, on social media or however our citizens are being informed, because the sidewalks are really bad. And I know the main street ones are gonna, eventually look good, but sidewalks is important, and they're not in very good shape.
And Richard just say that the ADU sidewalks will start in '24. That's what you said, so.
Well, that's this year.
That's this year,
Yeah,
so.
Rankus Grand Avenue sidewalks will go to add in October of 2020.
Yeah, well, construction won't start that.
Right.
2025.
So, maybe something like this will remind other citizens on other streets
Right.
to, I can get part of this.
Yeah, totally.
Any other comments? All right, I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the attached information and applications with edits for the hazardous tree and sidewalk matching programs.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Britt McWhirter and a second by trustee McManning to approve the attached information and applications with edits for the hazardous trees and sidewalk matching programs.
I like the emphasis like I had too.
We have to do that because sometimes it doesn't get done. Mercedes, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, trustee McCary?
Aye. Sorry, I was just reading.
Aye. Roll it.
Aye. What's he gonna say?
Aye.
What point? I'm over here.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, we will move right along to the HB 24-1152 accessory dwelling units legislations discussion.
So, this is pending legislation right now. CML is against this because it takes, or municipalities lose their local control. This doesn't really affect us because we already have in place, our ADUs, we already have all that, so it doesn't really affect us. However, we would like, pretty much what direction you want us to go in. Would you like us to bring a resolution to you that you're either opposed or you support this House bill? You can take no action, whatever you guys would like.
Question?
Yes.
Jason, what do you recommend?
Well, this applies to metropolitan planning districts, and so I don't foresee this being an issue for us. However, once one thing happens, we'll see.
Foot in the door.
Yeah, opening the door to that.
Unforeseen
Right?
consequences.
So, I think generally, opposing any kind of legislation that's going to take away our.
Well, what it's doing is the state's trying to take control of something that should be a local decision.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And I think that's the whole crux of what CML's complaint is that,
Sure.
we as the municipality should be in control of our destiny, not the state. And I hate to say it, but the state, the predominant state, decision-making process has very little concern over Little Mancus, but they want to control Mancus. They're all on the other side for the larger part.
I think with this, I talked to some people at one of the housing meetings concerning this, and they were explaining it as like these really densely populated areas aren't doing anything. They are not allowing this kind of thing. So the state is like, okay, we're going to just come in if you people don't get, So unfortunately, it's affecting all of us in the state. Like they couldn't just call out those.
Well, and the way I see it, at least, is like once they pass this, like Jason is saying, what's going to prevent them from passing one that's statewide?
Right.
And then we already have a ADU as a use by right in the single family home, which is great, but what if they change it and then they want to make it like the ones that already have this setting in like metropolitan districts, it's going to override that.
Yeah.
So if we already have our stuff already done, we're going to be punished for it later if they decide to make this a statewide thing and it's taking away our control over our citizenry.
Sure.
I agree with Brett.
What?
Well, it's first time. But I do agree with what he's saying on this.
I think we have to stand strong on this. I mean, just like we did on the other bill that they were trying to take away our local controls. So, from what I'm gathering is I think we would like a resolution or something to come back to the board against this. Is that the consensus that I'm getting from all of you?
Is this the same thing that not too long ago, Jason, you wrote a letter and we all signed? This is
No, but what they're going to do, that was a whole different, bigger bill, but they're breaking that into pieces. So, by the way, this won't be the first time you guys have this conversation coming up.
Gotcha.
This is a piece of
that bigger bill but that I think failed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're coming back with this. Okay.
And then they're breaking that big bill apart into little bills, so.
Like this.
Right.
Piecemeal.
So what would be as for us to, is to send another letter against this, or do we need to do something bigger than?
We can do another letter. The resolution, is the first step to take, but yes, we can, Jason's really good at all of that, so.
Great.
Yeah, if you guys want me to craft a letter, we can give it to our state representatives.
David, do you think we should do the letter and the resolution, or should we just do one or the other?
I think either way you want to do
I think let's just do a resolution to begin with, and then if that doesn't knock them back a little bit, then we do a letter too.
Well, we can get Heather's feedback on it too.
Mhm.
She's a little more versed in it.
She's suggested a resolution.
So I think we go with that then.
I think we should do
I think
that.
we do the resolution, then we can always write a letter, later, but,
Jason's busy enough.
so, okay.
All right, I think a resolution's a good idea. So you'll bring this back to us in a resolution, okay.
Okay, moving right along then, we have a final update on 422 Grand Avenue, and this one is David.
Hallelujah.
So, Heather prepared a staff report for, you guys, and have to go through the jail if you like, or, take any additional questions, but, basically, the, carport is coming down, and, Mr. Stubbs, I think I pronounced it right, W-I-N-E-R, Weiner, are, paying a fine, to town, and we paid the first payment already. And, they applied for a building permit, I believe, and, so, this case, has been brought into, compliance.
Question? How long do they have them for, like, I'm seeing the part about the, carport?
March.
Okay. And then Josh is watching that? Is Josh? Okay. Cool. Great.
Yes, Josh and Jason and Heather.
Perfect.
Cool.
Good to see that.
And if they don't take it down, what happens? Just, I don't want to go there, but I'm just curious.
If they don't take it down, then they would be, in, violation of their, agreement with the town, and, we can enforce that.
Okay, great.
Any other questions?
No further questions?
Okay. All right, moving right along to items for the February 28th, 2024 meeting. We have the Mancos Creative District Joint Meeting, that will be our workshop, and we will talk about the ballot survey update discussion. So, that will be the workshop. We will have a public hearing for ordinance 778, series 2024 for the Empire Electric franchise agreement, the first reading. We have the Mancos Chamber, Mancos Creative District sales tax distribution, that's just an FYI. Resolution 6, series 2024, the 2024 dispatch agreement renewal. And I think that's it at this point. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to go on?
So but the workshop got changed, that's what.
No, we'll be talking about the unhoused discussion.
Okay, so they got
Not this
added on,
one.
that's all. So we're still meeting with the creative district.
Right?
Yeah.
That'll be added to that,
The
the discussion
unhoused-
about the
the agenda.
meeting.
The in-house will be, we're putting it on the agenda to set the meeting. Set meeting and pick
Date.
Board members.
board members.
Maybe Jason will come up with some ideas to pick board members.
Okay.
Justin.
Next on the agenda is the adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right. meeting
Beat you,
adjourned.
Beat you. I had to. What are you gonna do when he's gone? It's just gonna be you.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to have somebody else race me.
I know.
He always beats me. Well, no,